So we're looking at the acceleration or the change in speed over time, that parameter that we discussed earlier. So what you can see is that as the arm is impacted, we had the accelerometer mounted on the inside portion of the forearm, if you will. You see that it starts to accelerate, right? Because it's changing its speed, and then it starts to level off after the impact has subsided, basically, and it's reached a common velocity.
What do we see in terms of the G-forces that the arm is subject to?
So the peak is occurring right around here at about, looks like just over 6 milliseconds. And the peak acceleration is just over 100.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's me, Cadilac with Cadillac Law, aka OG Cadillac, aka Mother of the Decade, aka proud mother of a graduating child today. That's right, my daughter is graduating 6th grade. I am very proud, I'm very excited. If y'all want to show her some love, you can send me the love through the Cashapp. I will make sure it gets into her account, and I can guarantee you it will spent on heavy metal music. Heavy metal music. She loves heavy metal. Morning, Blue Nettie. Good morning, Nene. Welcome, everyone. Oh my goodness, what a week. Note my new earrings. I bought these in Salem. Aren't they cute? I love snakes. Well, the kid and I had a blast. Probably like an unreasonably high amount of fun in Boston. But it was awesome. It was awesome. We had so much fun. Thank you, Nene. If y'all want to send her a little treat, it's #lcadilac on Cash App. So I appreciate anyone who does that. Okay. Before I get into Karen Reed and Diddy, real quick, I want to talk about those guys that escaped from the Louisiana jail. There are still 2 of like the 10 on the run, and they have charged one of them his sister, and he like went on an Instagram live and talking about the system is corrupt and so on and so forth. It's hard to empathize with someone who's facing such charges as he is. I do believe there's corruption in the system. I do believe jails are broken. Do not believe that running out of a wall hole behind a toilet is the way to prove that, right? Like, it's not a good look. I'll follow that, guys. Also, quick update. Next week, on Thursday, there is a Yellow Beezy hearing of some sort. It is my intention to be there. That's obviously in Dallas County. So I'm just going to swing by the criminal courthouse, see if I can talk to his lawyer. I don't know. So I'll have an update next week on Yellow Beezy and what that looks like. Okay, let's first do Diddy, and then we'll do Karen Reed. Yes. All right, if y'all were here last week, one thing you should remember from last week in my reporting of seeing Diddy live is that I said he kept like nodding his head or shaking his head, right? Do y'all remember that? You remember when I said that, Nene? You remember that, Nitty? Like, I said that. He kept shaking his head vigorously, and it was something that I thought was relatively inappropriate, which is why I brought it up here. I thought that was an interesting thing that was going on, and usually signaling to the jury is not allowed. So yesterday, Diddy got threatened by the judge that he would be kicked out for said head nodding. Now, do I think the judge saw my live? No. I love when YouTubers are like, oh yeah, they probably watched my YouTube. No, they didn't. No, they're really smart. They have eyes of their own. So apparently the judge had warned them yesterday. Sorry, 2 days ago. And then yesterday the judge like yelled at Diddy's lawyer and was like, yo, control your client. And if he can't be controlled, he doesn't need to be here. One thing you don't want, like, in your life is to have a federal judge mad at you. Hey, Like, so now the judge is mad at Diddy. Tell him stop signaling, stop shaking. Because I told you guys when Capricorn Clark was testifying, he would shake his head if he agreed, and he would shake his head no when he disagreed with her. And I called that out. I said that's really odd. I don't like that. Well, the judge saw it too, and he didn't like it either. And I feel vindicated. You heard it here first. Like, yeah, I knew that was wrong. So, Diddy got that threat. A woman named, she goes by Bonna, who's like Cassie's good friend. She testified that Diddy hung her over a 17th floor balcony at Cassie's apartment. Cassie did testify to that as well, but didn't have like a real clear memory. So that was interesting. What was more interesting is when Nicole Westmoreland, who we all know from the YSL Rico trial, who I did run into at the elevator. I said, hey, you did a great job. I watched you in Young Thug. I said you hardly ever got up, but when you got up, you just dropped a whole bomb, and I just knew if you stood up, a bomb was coming, and it was a pleasure. And she giggled and said thank you. She's so petite, but she's a firecracker, man. Just like my daughter. My daughter's like a little, she's like 4'11", but she's a firecracker, bro. Do not mess with that child. So Nicole and I told her she did great, she killed it with the Bonna in the cross. Killed it. She's so good. She's so great. She's such a beautiful career ahead of her. Okay, I don't know how to do a poll on here, but a quick poll. And I keep telling this to my daughter. Belinda, if you're watching and you can figure out how to do a poll, please let me know. Anyhow, isn't it true that men prefer short women? Of course, there's a subset of men that love legs, right? And they want a tall, leggy woman. With exception of that subset, let's don't think the vast majority of dudes like little women, like short. I always thought they did. And so that's when my daughter's like, I don't know, I'm short. I'm like, dude, being short is great. Also, it gives you a lot more men to choose from, right? Like, I'm 5'5". I'm sorry, but you got to be my height or more. I'm sorry. She's 4'11". That's easy. So she could easily have a short king. Someone who's 5'3" is still going to be taller than her. So, like, I don't know. To me, I think being a short girl is where it's at. I am not. I'm medium. I'm the most medium woman there ever was. Okay, back to Diddy and Nicole. Nicole killed it on cross. Killed it. The lady admitted she was high. It's difficult. This is a difficult case. Oh, Tavanda, you one of them leg girls. Okay, y'all, if you like legs. I think 5'8" is still, like, medium, though. Like, I consider, like, from 5'4" to 5'8", like, medium women. And then, like, 5'9" and above is tall. 5'3" and below is short. That's kind of how I see the scale. Yeah, Nene is 5'2". I know Nene is tiny. I've met her. She's tiny. Her husband's 6'5". Okay. Case closed. I'm going to show this to my daughter and be like, see? Got the advantage, bro. All right. So Nicole tore that girl apart. This prosecution is going to have like the hardest time because all of their witnesses, with the exception of the stylist, are kind of not the greatest. A lot of them are drug addicts. A lot of them, were getting money. I don't know. It's not the greatest. All right, so that's what I told her, Nitty. I said the reason they're called shorties is because they're shorter. It's just great being a short girl is good. I don't have that. Okay, so the witnesses are pretty terrible most of the time. I still believe the best witness so far was the stylist who confirmed everything Cassie said about that bedroom incident. He seemed to me to be the only person who didn't have like something to lose or gain and wasn't like high as a kite or whatever. And the other thing is, guys, I don't know about you, but like I'm in my 40s now. I cannot use drugs like maybe like once a year or something. I don't know. Like on a special occasion, maybe. But even then, like, probably not. It's gonna take me like 3 weeks to feel normal again. I just, he is well in his 40s, just cranking out the dope. Him and Elon Musk. You guys, Musk is doing ketamine. Am I like the only one who's so prude that like I didn't know ketamine was like a thing anymore? Probably. Okay, so then this new girl got on stand, and this is Jane Doe, and she's pretty important, and some people are speculating that she's 50 Cent's baby mama. I don't know who that is. I don't know who she is. I don't want to... I am so saddened by the fact that someone let Mia's identity out. Now, I don't know if you guys heard, but I heard who might have let out that identity, and it's actually someone quite famous who's also on YouTube. Not me. And it was not Sylvia. Period. So don't even ask. It was not my friend Sylvia. Period. So I don't know who it was. It was definitely, hello, Audrey. It was definitely a YouTuber. Okay. So I don't know who leaked Mia. Nobody's going to leak this woman, hopefully. All right. So this woman, she gets on under the pseudonym Jane Doe. She says, yeah, in 2021, my friend was dating Diddy, but then she went off and got married to someone else. So I started dating him, and we were hanging out for a year, and then we got really high, and he asked if I wanted to try this thing he likes to do with the escorts. And she's like, sure. So she did it, and then it became like an everyday thing, and she kind of got sick of it. There's a pattern there. But testimony came out that she had like $10,000 rent and Diddy was paying it. And so then he would like threaten to not pay it. She's a single mom. I don't know. Tavana, I don't think there was girl code there because the other girl was using Diddy as like a sugar daddy. And so she was just trying to find the right sugar daddy to marry her. So I don't think girl code applied in that situation. Because I know girl code, okay? I'm out here. I could be girl code judge. Y'all could bring, and I will judge your girl code violations, okay? I don't think it was a violation because it was like a sugar daddy setup. And my understanding of sugar daddy setups is that you're not actually attached to them. So it doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, Nady says it's Joy Bryan. I don't know who that is. I don't know. Okay. We're not going to speculate about who she is because we are going to protect her identity. She's a mother. Her child does not need to know about the weird, kinky stuff she gets into. It is not for our children to hear about, okay? And it's not for parents to hear about their children. I don't need to know. I just need to know you're being safe. That's all. Just assure me that you're safe. Those are the only details I need. We don't need details. And we don't need that little kid finding out that it's his or her mom. We don't need that. That's whack. That's not cool. That is not okay. So, anyhow, she's about to get crossed today. I don't know. At this point, I do believe they have hit the RICO. I believe they have enough evidence for the RICO. I believe they have enough for the trafficking. Arson, I think they got him for sure. It's circumstantial on the arson, but I still think they got him. I don't know. But I do think he's going to be guilty-ish. And he's going to get kicked out if he keeps nodding his head. What did I say, y'all? What did your girl say? I said, this man was like nodding his head. And I thought that was really weird. And I'm like, why is he nodding his head? I said that. It was like he was confirming. It was not, I didn't like it. And obviously, the lovely judge agreed with me. Hi, Torta Mom. Welcome. I don't think this will be another O.J. Simpson, if I'm honest. The circumstances that surrounded O.J. and, like, the race wars that were going on in L.A. and a lot led to that. We are now past the hashtag #MeToo phase, and I do not believe that this is going to turn out to be another O.J. I really, really don't. Okay, so bribery, trafficking, and arson. Yes, that I think they got him on that. And if you got him on those, you got him on RICO. Because you only need like 2 of those to get the RICO. So. All right. Transitioning to hear and read. As you know, they had an expert who didn't even have a bachelor's degree, which, like, if you don't have a bachelor's degree, that's fine. I don't care. My daughter's not going to get a bachelor's degree. She's going to be a hairdresser. So she's going to get a hair license. She may go get a bachelor's degree someday or whatever, but initially in her lifetime and career, she's going to get a hair license. I don't care. Go get your HVAC certificate. You know, if you've do something, right? What I care about is that the law requires a certain level of education to qualify as an expert. And you need to be truthful about your qualification. You can't lie to a federal... Who lies to federal court, y'all? You got a set of huevos, 80 pounds heavy, to lie to federal court about your qualifications. So that's why I went there. All right, so I want to tell you about my experience. First of all, Boston is one of my favorite cities in America. No, it is my favorite city in America. Now, I haven't been to Chicago yet, and I haven't been to Philly or anything like that. But so far, Boston has my heart. All right, so we rented a car, we drove out to Canton. Well, first we went to the courthouse. The courthouse is not in Canton. It's in like another little suburb nearby. So we went out to the courthouse. I met this wonderful person. We will be putting together an interview I did with him, and that will be some members-only content. I promised you I would get you members-only content, and it is coming. Okay, I told you, sometimes it just takes me a long time to deliver, but I always deliver. Okay, so the, okay, where were we? Okay, so we go to the courthouse, we walk up and down, we see the supporters, I've got footage, it'll all be shared with you. It's beautiful. It is so pretty. Oh my God. Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. It's got like historic, but then it has like new, it's like a park. Oh, it's so freaking nice, guys. It's so nice. When we were there, they were on a lunch break. We walked up and down and checked out the news coverage. The news coverage is light. The news coverage is surprisingly light. There's way more coverage of the Diddy trial, which does make sense, but I was surprised by how light the news coverage was at the Karen Reed. We then drove to 34 Fairview. I'm going to release that in some member footage. Let me just tell you, these houses are gorgeous. They're on like quarter-acre, half-acre lots. They're huge. Oh my God, they're so pretty. So I checked out real estate in Canton. You cannot buy a place there for under $1 million, period. Oh, and it's like a short drive to Boston, like 35-minute drive to Boston. And in Canton, they have like a commuter place where you can park your car and take the train. It's actually really convenient. It's really nice, you guys. It's so freaking nice. So we went by 34 Fairview. I will share that footage with the members. We drove up and down at 34 Fairview. Then we went to the waterfall, which is closed and under construction. I thought that was very interesting. I said, why is the waterfall closed and under construction? So the waterfall is on like a weird angle, and it's at the bottom of like a newer apartment complex. So you almost wouldn't notice it unless you like knew it. Like you really wouldn't. I didn't see it off the street. The Google map had to like get me there. The C.H. McCarthy's, however, is on the main strip and like kind of catty corner a bit from the waterfall. You wouldn't have to get in your car. You could walk. So we drove by the waterfall, which we could not go into because it's closed. Then we went to C.F. McCarthy's, and it was packed. Packed. So business is booming. Then we went to John's house. Now, I hope one of you knows, I'm guessing, the house that John lived in, that they call John's house, did that belong to his sister and her husband before she passed? And then John moved in with the kids? The reason I asked is this house is gorgeous. It is so pretty. It is so big. I'm like, how could a cop afford this? I mean, it's gorgeous, you guys. It's so pretty. You'll see it in the members only footage. It's beautiful. So that's weird. Then we went from John's house to the waterfall. Oh, we tried taking Karen's route. We eventually passed by the library. So all of that footage will be out there for members only. All right. Next week I'm meeting with my video guy, and so hopefully in a week or so we'll have that out. All right. While I was there, this man, who is probably, in my opinion, one of the only true Americans out there anymore, steps up and comes and tells the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. So this is a defense witness who's a cop. And he has some very interesting news for us. So let's just watch this together.
Actually did go inside the residence.
Yes, they did.
For the bulk of the time that they were in the residence, where were you?
Outside the residence.
Were you with the black SUV?
I was in the garage speaking to the defendant's mother.
The defendant's mom?
Yes.
Janet? Okay.
Yes.
Where was the SUV at this point?
In the driveway.
Did you have an opportunity to see the SUV?
I did.
Did you walk all the way around it?
Not all the way around.
Did you see the rear end of it?
I did.
Did you make note of the rear end of it?
Yes.
How long would you say you were at the location in a position to observe the rear end of that SUV? 2 minutes, 20 minutes, something in between? Longer?
I would say not the entire time that I was there, but a good amount of time.
More than a glance?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the afternoon of January 29th, 2022, correct?
Correct.
Before the vehicle had been seized formally by Trooper Proctor and Sergeant Buchanan, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's important. This is after John's incident, but before the vehicle seized.
Did you observe anything of note about the rear end of that black SUV?
Yes, I noted in a report that there was damage to the taillight.
Can you describe for the juror, by the way, which taillight are we talking about?
The right rear taillight.
Can you describe for the jurors what you noted in terms of the damage to the right rear taillight?
I noted that The report said that there was rear damage to that taillight.
When you say damage, have you ever described that damage previously?
I have.
Can you tell us what that
Yep.
description is?
There was, it was damaged, the taillight was damaged, but there was a crack missing, but it was not completely damaged.
Not completely damaged, a crack missing. Interesting. Hi, Jiggy. Welcome. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Okay, so if you're on the jury and you're hearing from a cop who does not know any of these people, is completely uninvolved, has no ties to this community, doesn't care, saw the light, wasn't damaged. You, the jury, have already seen the footage of the Sally Port with someone standing, the reversed footage. I can't see how this woman gets, I can't see guilty anywhere. There's no way.
When you say there was a crack, do you mean there was a piece missing?
A piece was missing.
Can you describe for the jurors kind of what that piece looked like, how big it was, how small, the shape, as you call it?
The piece was about maybe this big,
Is that maybe the size of a dollar bill, maybe 6 inches?
6 inches. or
And
so.
how wide?
Maybe that wide, maybe 3.
Wow, that's substantially less wide than the whole casing, isn't it?
Inches, 2 inches, somewhere
Okay.
in there.
I want to show you a photo. Your Honor, with the court's permission, I would like to show Exhibit 13. It's been previously marked. Do you see what's depicted in this photograph?
I do.
What does that appear to be, just generally?
The right rear taillight,
Okay.
Of what?
the Lexus SUV.
Is that consistent with the black Lexus SUV that you saw at the Reed residence?
That was the black Lexus. That was not the taillight the day I was there.
That was the Lexus, but that was not the taillight the day I was there. Case closed. Case closed. Why are we even here? The government's medical examiner already testified that his injuries are not consistent with a car accident. Now we have a real cop who believes in the truth show up and say, nah, the taillight didn't look like that. And we have video of Proctor at the taillight. And Higgins, who was in the house.
Can you?
Come on. Come on. Like, how dumb does the judge and the prosecution think the jury is? Here's the thing. Let me just get on a soapbox real quick. As a whole, most Americans tend to not be the brightest, not the greatest at reading, following directions, simple things like that. It's kind of a side effect of the society we live in. It is what it is, right? However, my experience has always been that when said American steps into the jury box, they become the most attentive and studious and paying attention version of themselves humanly possible. If they put out the level of effort they put out in the jury box, like at school or at their work, they'd be CEOs. Okay, they'd have, they'd be doctors. People take jury duty seriously, as they should. Lives are at hand. Take it seriously. But people really honor and respect that role. When they're put in that role, they really are diligent about it, in my experience. And so not always the case, but typically they're going to be really diligent. So this jury is listening better than we are. They're seeing facial expressions, they're seeing movements, they're seeing all that. And I guarantee you, they're paying attention. Not guilty. There's no way. There's no way she could be guilty.
You do me a favor, Mr. Wolk, with the court's permission, could we zoom in on the right rear taillight, please?
Okay.
Do you see the condition of that taillight as it's depicted in this photo?
I do.
Sergeant Barrows, is this the condition of the right rear taillight when you showed up at the Reed household at around 3:15 in the afternoon on January 29th, 2022?
Absolutely not.
What's different about this photo, sir?
That tail light is completely smashed out.
Absolutely not. That taillight is smashed out.
Does it appear that there are additional pieces of taillight that are removed from this taillight condition than when you saw it at the Reed residence? Objection.
Sustained. Ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
Of course. Describe specifically, other than the fact that it's different.
Okay. So while Karen is presumed innocent, everyone is innocent in the courtroom until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and her attorneys just poke the hell out of, like, added doubt everywhere. They continue, and today they have first an expert on called Dr. Wolf. I do believe he testified last time. I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of cute for a nerdy
what
nerd.
These concepts are. You'll see that I have plotted graphs with acceleration.
I will allow you to know that I hate physics. It's all imaginary to me, and it's not tangible, and I hate it. Also, I wouldn't weigh as much as I do if we didn't have gravity. So, okay, gravity, thanks. Just saying. Anyhow, I don't like physics. This guy is a nerd. He knows about it. Like, he understands force and crap that I'll never understand. I got to physics, I was like, ugh. No.
That
It's like geometry or something. Ugh.
shows the rate in that change in speed over time. You will see
Literally, y'all, literally, my hell would be having to learn this shit. If Lauren gets to hell, she's gonna be stuck in physics for the rest of her life. Oh my god. It's so awful.
graphs of delta V, so the change in speed of the arm as it's being impacted by the taillight. And then ultimately we can calculate the force of that impact to be able to assess whether or not there's a mechanism for the injuries. And as I mentioned, that'll be my colleague, Dr. Rentschler, that will discuss that.
Can I ask you about delta V specifically? I'd like to focus on that.
Doesn't Delta V sound like a drug or something? But it's not. It's not fun. It's physics.
For a second, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, no, if I'm a juror, honestly, and I have to sit through this shit, I'm like, look, I already know she's not guilty because the cop just told me the light looked different, and I saw the videos of the other guy with the light, and I found out the light pieces were on the lawn like 8 days later. Hello. I don't need to Delta V. I hate physics so much, you guys. I hate it. All right. That's it. That's all I have for today. I'm still recovering from all the travel, and I intend on spending my whole weekend sleeping, laying in my pool, and going to the gym, and that is it. I'm gonna let my dog out. I'm gonna feed him. I gotta do laundry and stuff. Anyhow. If you want to support my daughter for her 6th grade graduation, Cashapp lcadilac. I will definitely get it to her. She will be so thrilled. Oh my God, she will be thrilled. She wants to buy this rare album that has these 2 songs that were later edited from the, I don't know. She's huge metalhead, guys. And it's adorable because she's tiny. I told you she's tiny. And she just loves, it's so cute to me. It's so sweet. All right. That's it. Thanks for hanging out, hanging in. Make sure you hit likes, thumbs up. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your contributions, your cash apps, everything. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for coming back every Friday and spending the morning with me. You guys are like my homies. Oh, one last thing. I was supposed to go to the Big X the Plug concert last night. Technically, it was Lil Baby and Big X was opening, but apparently he injured himself, so he wasn't going to be there, so I didn't go. hopefully I'll talk to my friend who I sent in my stead, and he had a good time. We'll find out. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week.